there, this is Tammy with Tammy's Stamping Therapy, and I came on a few days ago and showed you this album in one of my videos. I think I already had these things on there. This is one of the resin pieces that I've created that I'll be showing in an upcoming video. That was so much fun to create. It's just clear resin with pink glitter, and it made it all look pink. So this is for a friend, and I need to get it in the mail, but I'm going to show you how I made it and how you can make these albums if you don't have chipboard. If you don't have access to chipboard, you can just use stuff that you already have. So this is the one that I made. This is for a friend, and I put magnets in all these places. There's magnets there, and there's this, and this was from a Cardabella. I would call it a suite because I got it from Frank Garcia on one of the secret sales, and there was just a ton of stuff that came with it. So this paper was just really pretty, and so I did this album for a friend, and then I'm going to show you how to make this. And it's got seam binding from my scrap cabin. So to start with, you need 2 pieces of chipboard that are 4 by 3 1/4, and one that's 4 by 1 1/2. I did not use chipboard for this. I used 3 pieces of Stampin' Up's thick white cardstock, and this is thicker than some of the chipboard I have. It thicked up really nice. For making albums, you can use cereal boxes or anything like that. If what you have isn't thick enough, just glue 2 pieces together to get something thicker, and it works fine. The paper that I'm using for this album is Echo Park, and it's called Hello Spring. And I just thought this was really fun. It came with all these paper designs, which you'll see as we go through the album, plus a bunch of cut-aparts. And then it also came with this sticker sheet, which has some really fun stickers in it. Didn't have any chipboard accents. I think I got this maybe at Tuesday morning, I'm not sure. So this album is going to be one of the things I'm going to give away with my birthday challenge. It's going to be one of the prizes. This is the cover that I chose. Aren't these little bees cute? This is the paper I chose for the cover. This paper is 9 1/2 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to show you how I do these covers. First I lay them out to see kind of the placement that I want, and then I'm using my reptile glue and the one that I made with the Cardabella paper, that paper is really heavy, so I was just really careful when I bent it. If you do it slowly and carefully, you can do it without having it crack. Sometimes, no matter what you do, it's going to crack. Some papers just don't like to be bent, but the Cardabella paper worked really well, and this is a much thinner paper, so this should work just as well. And then this isn't really thin, it's just thinner. So when I'm going to be bending it, the first thing I'm going to do is go along all the edges with my bone folder, and I'm kind of preparing the paper to be bent. Telling it, okay, you're going to be bent. Please don't crack. And then I'm going to go like this, this, and like this. Now I need some tear and tape. Hardest part with tear and tape for me is finding the spine, or the spine, finding the end. You can use just glue for this, but it takes a lot longer. I mean, you have to hold on to it while your glue dries. Oh, not ready yet. Now I need to cut the corners. And you want to leave about 1/8 of an inch at each corner. If you don't do that, you're likely to see your chipboard or your cardstock sticking through, and I don't want that. So oops, and I don't need that at the moment. If I don't keep that closed, it starts to dry up inside there. Albums is one of my favorite things to make, and it's kind of funny because I rarely use all these little mini albums that I make. I give a lot of them away as gifts. There was one album I made that I did use it to scrapbook my trip to the wildlife safari here in Oregon. And I have a video on that, one of my first videos I think, when I started doing them last summer. So we have this, and it's pretty stiff. To get it to bend, we're going to go like this, stick the bone folder in there, and then gently start pulling it up. Do this to both sides. And you can usually tell if your paper's going to crack just by looking, and this doesn't look like it's going to. I could be wrong and it might crack, but the next part is the spine. And so let me show you. I don't want to do it with that. I want to show you how I decide on my spine. And so I knew I wanted 3 pages. And I like my spines to be 1/2 inch tall. So I start by drawing it. I'm going to draw this really big. These are going to be my spines. And they are going to be glued together, but this gives me the idea. And then how much space do I want in between? And how much space do I need on the end? So my spines I always make 1/2 inch tall. So you need a whole inch for each one, so that's 1 inch. And then I like to put a 1/2 inch in between, so that's 1/2, and that's 1/2. And how much you put on the outside is up to you. I think this time I only used 1/2 on the outside. So my piece of paper needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times 1/2 inch. So it needs to be 5 inches. And the width of the paper is 1/8 inch smaller than my album, so it's 5 by 3 7/8. And then I don't know if you can see this because this is white. This is scored at every 1/2 inch. So the next thing I'm going to do, there should be one that's right in the middle, and there is. The next thing I do is the pieces that I know I want to fold up. Those are the spine pieces. All of the rest of the folds are going to go the other way, if I've done this right. If I haven't done this right, we'll see, and I can fix it. So when I do this, see, I haven't done this right. This is the upside. Okay. You guys get my mistakes along with what's not mistakes. So if I started with the middle, this is the way I should have done it. Start with the middle. That's where I know my first spine is. And then I want a flat. So I need to fold up, and then there's my second spine. And the same thing on the other side. I needed to leave that 1/2 inch in between. The first way I folded it, I didn't do that. And then I go behind and add tear and tape to the mountain folds. So you have mountain folds and valley folds. And this tear and tape is 1/4 of an inch wide. If you have score tape or other things that are wider, if you had a 1/2 inch tape, that would be perfect to put there. So then I'm going to take care of my spine pieces. I really need to retire this paper piercer. Not only is it bent, as I've mentioned before, because I used it as a pry tool, it also has a little like hook at the end now, which I think, I'm not really sure how that happens. Maybe it happened at the same time, but I've had it happen to them before, where I get a little hook at the end, so they're not really pointy anymore and they don't work the way you want them to. So here is my spine. This is what it looks like. I'm going to try to condition it some more so my pages will move nicely. So I folded it one way and now I'm folding it the other way. And I'm going to do that a few times. Okay. This is ready to put inside. I'm done with this. This is ready to put inside my album. So I want to center it. I want to center it in there. I can see, it's kind of hard to see because all this is white, but I can see where my folds are. I don't want to make any marks, so I'm going to put a lot of glue on the back of this. This part, it's one of the most important things about, one of the most important places that you need to be sure you have plenty of adhesive. So I'm going to stick this on here again, making sure that it's centered this way and that it's hopefully straight. And then I'm going to burnish all of my spaces. And this is the thing, you need to give this time to dry. If you don't, if I bent these pages up, this would buckle. So I'm going to be really careful with that. And the next thing I'm going to put on here, I think, yeah, I have these two pieces. Hopefully they're the same size. Yes. This is 3 7/8 by 3 3/4, and those are going to go right here, but it's too long. Too long. So I'm doing this slightly different than I did the previous one. So this actually needs to be three and a half instead of 3 7/8. So it's not a big deal. I'll just grab my paper cutter. So on the 3 7/8 inch side, no. On the 3 3/4 inch side, I'm going to cut it at 3 1/2. And the difference between this album and the other one is on the other one I only put a 1/4 inch space in here, and I really like it with a 1/2 inch space. So I decided when I make this one to make it a 1/2 inch space. So that fits a lot better. I'm going to put this on here. This could all be done with a colored cardstock. I'm using white because I like the way this is going to look at the end, and because I'm sponging it again the same way I did this one. So I could put a layer of colored cardstock on there, or I could have made the album with colored cardstock. Sponging the edges allows me to not put that extra layer, and it takes away some of the bulk. So here's this part, and it doesn't matter that you can see my written measurements because they are going to all be covered up. And the last thing I'm going to do to this is, if I can find my right pieces, I have these two pieces, and I don't remember how big they are. 3 5/8 by 3, and that's going to go on there, and it's okay to have this space over here. So I did it like this. I think these papers are really pretty. They're just so bright and springy. That is why it's called Hello Spring. So there's my cover, and this is really stiff, and I'm going to set this aside to dry. I do not want to bend that yet. The next thing I'll show you how I did is how I built this. So I have this piece that is 7 3/4 by 3 1/2, and then I have a piece that is 3 1/2 by 3 1/4, and one that's 3 1/4 by 2 5/8. So to put this together, I'm going to look at this. I already built the other side that goes on here, so I'm going to look at this. And the first thing I'm going to do is put all this together. So I need to varnish that. And then I'm going to glue these on here. So I want this one to go this way. So put glue on this edge. And this is 3/8 of an inch. It is, the cardstock is 3 1/2 by 3 1/4, and then it's scored at 2 7/8 on the 3 1/4 inch side. Put this on here. I'm just centering these, which I know it's hard to see this with white. It'd be harder to see if it was all black. So there's my mechanism. And the next thing I'm going to do is put on my magnets. So I want this to attach right here. And they are in this little basket here somewhere. So I'm going to take one little magnet, and I'm putting it on a glue dot, and then I'm going to go like this. And I'm putting it back a ways here. If you put it too close to the edge, sometimes you have a hard time getting your paper to stick down. And then I'm going to take the second magnet, and I'm going to let it decide where it goes. I'll put a glue dot on there, and just go like this. I'm going to make sure, I did one before where one of them was 2 magnets, and I didn't realize that until I put the paper on and thought, well, that's too thick. And now I can add most of my papers to this. So let me find those papers. These are the papers, and I numbered them so I would know where they go. One of the ones on the bottom I can't put on yet. I'll explain why when I get there, but isn't this cute? These little boots. I think this is adorable. And then this one that has all the butterflies. This is just really fun paper. My papers are 1/4 inch smaller than the space I'm putting them on. So this one is 2 5/8 by 2 3/8. That's what both of those are. This one is 3 1/4 by 2 5/8. When I made the other album, I usually just like pick papers as I go, but I didn't want this video to be 2 hours long, so I decided I needed to pick them ahead of time, and that's why I've got all these numbers on them. Because otherwise I would forget where I meant them to go. It would still make my video be long, because I'd be spending a lot of time messing around trying to figure it out. This paper is very fun too. I really like this paper. And then I have number 2. It's going to go right here. And this one is 3 5/8 by 2 7/8. And then I'm going to look at, so that's all together, and see how that sticks with the magnet. Oh, I can put this one on the back first. Number 1. Which one did I want on the back? Yeah, I think it's this one. And then I have to see which one of these I cannot put on yet, because this is this one, the way that it's attached, that way. So I can't put this one on, but I can put this one on. I'm not going to put this one on until after I put it in the book, and then that's going to cover up the, it's going to cover up the spine. Okay, so I did not realize my camera stopped and started again, and it missed a piece. So I'm going to show you what I missed. It was putting this together. This is 6 1/4 by 3 7/8. It's scored at 3 1/8, and then these pieces on top are 3 5/8 by 2 7/8. So there's one on each side. This is punched with a 2 1/2 inch circle punch, and then I sponged those. I ended up with these little spots on there, but that's going to be covered up when the book is done. So I was done with that, and I was getting ready to show you how I make this little envelope when I realized it had skipped a spot, a big chunk. So this is 4 1/2 inch square. I'm using the mini envelope punch board. Look at that, isn't that cute? I started by punching and scoring at 2 1/2, and then as you go around you just line this little piece up with your score line. And so I was here. And one more. And then this has the corner rounder on this side, so I'm going to take the big flaps and around the corners. That worked, yeah, it worked. It looked funny because of the brown there. Put this back. I had to buy 4 of these before I got one that wasn't broken. And when I bought the last one, I bought it at Tuesday morning for a really good price, and I made sure it wasn't broken before I took it home. So now I'm going to sponge all the edges of this envelope. These are the outside edges. So that's that part. I'm going to set that over there and hopefully not stick my arm in it. And then I will fold and burnish all of these. Put tear and tape on here. And then I'm going to sponge all the outside edges. I don't remember that being what was inside that envelope. So there's my cute little envelope. Oh, and then this one is the boots. That's why it is different inside. If I'd looked at that first, I might have done it the other way, but that's okay. 2 little envelopes. What's next? Now I think this has been sitting long enough that we can carefully start to fold. Now you have 2 thicknesses of cardstock, of the white cardstock, that are trying to fold as well. So that's why I want to be really careful. Very careful. And I'm pushing down pretty hard because I want the white to bend. And see, none of these, well, this is a little bit right there. I didn't have enough glue on the ends. But I can still do that. This would have been really important to get the glue all the way to the edge, and obviously I didn't, so. There. So there is, that's ready to go. The first thing I'm going to do is put on my little pockets just because it's easy to do it now. These are 1 1/4 by 3 1/8. Just going to stick it there. There's my pockets. Still needs some glue in there. Come on, lift up. There we go. Stick some glue in there. This is the nice thing about the reptile glue, is how it just wipes away. Other glues don't do that. So there's our little book, and I forgot to do something. You guys probably think I'm a bumbling idiot, how many things I have messed up in this video. I forgot to put my ribbon inside. So on this book, the ribbon's going to go around the outside somehow. Can't believe I forgot to do that. So annoying. That's okay. Now I'm ready to start putting in my pages. And I'm going to start with the center page. I think I did that yesterday too on the other one. So this wants glue along this, just one edge to start with. And I'm going to put it on my spine, and again, because it's white, it makes it hard to see. But I don't want to go all the way to the bottom, because if you're snug down in there, then you have a hard time turning the pages, because the cardstock gets in the way of itself. So I am, or hopefully I am, like just a smidge, not quite even a 1/16 of an inch up from the bottom. And then I'm going to put glue on this edge and all across the bottom. And I'm going to close my page. Making sure my glue is sticking down. So there's that page. Now I'm going to take one of these. Which one? Okay, this one is the first page, and it is attached on that side. So I'm going, this time I'm going to put glue on the spine piece itself. And you can use tear and tape for this also, but I really like how glue works, because the glue bonds cardstock to cardstock, bonds paper to paper. So I'm doing the same thing with this one, where I'm going, I know you can't see that, that's really hard to see. I'm like a 1/16 of an inch up. And then on this side, I'm going to add my butterflies, and that's going to cover up the spine. Part of the spine. You can still see it a little bit. So that's that page. Now on this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm putting it on the outside. So I'm going to put glue on this spine. And I'm going to stick this in here. Then I'll come over here and add my butterflies. You can see this book, the first page and the third page are kind of like mirrored images of each other. I thought this butterfly paper was just so fun. That's my favorite print in the pack. So there we have both of our flaps. And then I'm going to do the back of this. Nope, I'm going to do this part. I'm going to put these envelopes on here. So see, they were made just for this. This just needs glue. And I'll center it on there. Center that on there. Then I'm going to do the back part. So I've already done some of this. These pieces are 3 5/8 by 2 7/8, and then they're scored at 3 3/8 on the top. And the reason I don't have any of these on yet is because I want to attach these to each other before I do that. So I have these, this is the order I want them in. That's the order I want them in. This is the order I want them in. No, I don't like that. Like that. So what I'm going to do is fold down this. This is 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to fold this down on each of these and burnish it. And I'm going to see, I was really bad with that ink. It's like everywhere. I don't know what the deal is. So I'm putting glue on that edge, and I'm going to stand these up together. Then I'm going to get that to fold down. And I'm making sure they're even all the way around. Same thing on here. And then add my last one. Now I can put this on the back. So this is number 1. Okay, so my reason for doing this first, it didn't matter. That's okay. This one's number 4. I'm going to put this in the book before I put this other one on. So to put it in the book, I'm just putting glue along here. Let me see, somehow there's ink on the desktop. That's why I'm having issues. And then I'm going to put this down right there. I don't know where the ink came from. That's just weird. So there's that. And I need to add my last one in here. And I'm doing my little Created by Tammy and putting that on the back. And then I forgot to do the ribbon, which is very annoying. So for the ribbon, I'm using the same ribbons that I used on the other one. So I think I'm going to use pink for the tie. And I'm going to put it around the outside since I didn't get it the way I wanted on the inside. So I want that much. And I'm going to put tear and tape. I'm going to put tear and tape on the middle. And this is 4 1/8, so I want to be 2 1/16. So I'm going to make a pencil mark right there, and a pencil mark right there. I'm going to go straight, and I'm going to go straight-ish to there. Find the middle of my ribbon, which is here, because I'm going to have to flatten out this ribbon to make this work as much as I can. Go like this. Take this off. And go like this. It's in there. Okay. So here's our little book. There's a pocket right here, and there's an envelope there. This folds up, this comes out. There can be a tag in here. This folds up, this comes out. Magnets inside. And then they got your little waterfall. And this is going to have magnets the same way this does. And then you embellish the book as desired. What I should have done with the ribbon, before I put down this pink piece here on the white piece, I should have put the ribbon in. That's what I did on this one. It's underneath the white piece. You see right there. But this works too. A lot of books I do have the ribbon on the outside. You can embellish as desired. I am going to finish this, but I'm not going to finish it now. I don't want this video to be any longer than it already is. But you will see the completed book next week. I'm going away for the weekend this weekend. So next week, you'll see this video this week on Friday or Saturday. Next week, on Friday or Saturday, you'll see a video showing my prizes for my birthday challenge giveaway. And then I will have this book completed, as well as the candy box that I showed for Halloween. So you'll see how I decorated it then. I'm going to decorate it using these stickers in some way, but whatever I put on the front, I probably want to add cardstock to, or I might just, like, I don't know. So this one I put a big one on the front, a big piece. So I'm looking at all of these. I kind of think I want to put this one on there. And to put this one on there, because it's bordered in the butterflies, because it's a good size for that, I'll probably back it on cardstock. I didn't with this one, but this isn't a sticker. This is very heavyweight paper. These are kind of thick stickers. So we'll see. That wheelbarrow would be cute on the front too. But one thing I do want to do, I want to show you, you're probably wondering, look at that ugly thing there. I am going to take this boot and I'm going to put it right here. And that spot is gone, and I'm going to use these stickers to decorate other parts of the book too. But for now, I am, sorry I bumped the camera, I am being humble fingers. And there's my little book. And there's my little book. This one's going to go out in the mail tomorrow. This one is going to be a gift, a prize for my birthday challenge. Oh, I wish I could see how long I've been. 24 minutes. When I show this for the prizes, then I'll show you how I did this part. What I'm basically going to do is take my crocodile. I can cut the holes now. I can put the holes in it now. If I can find some silver. There's one. This video is already really long, so another silver one. So what I'm going to do is make a little pencil mark right here. So what I want to do it here and here. Yeah. And right here. And I'm going to take my crocodile and I'm going to look through it and see where my little pencil mark is, and that's where I'm punching the hole. And I'll do the same thing here. And then I'll go from this side and put the eyelet in there. And you take this sticky up piece and put it through the bottom of the eyelet. Gotta get it in there. I don't think I'm getting it. There. And squeeze. And there's an eyelet. And then you do the same thing with this one. And there's my two eyelets. And they hardly show at all on the back side. So, in the next video where I show the prizes, I will show how I did this part. But at least the eyelets are there. So that's it for now. I'm sorry this video is so long, and please excuse my little weird spot in the middle where I didn't realize my video stopped and then started again. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I will have the measurements all listed in the description box below. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of the tutorial. And please excuse all of my blunders throughout this one. It has to happen sometimes, and this one seemed to have lots of them. Have a wonderful day.